I'm Anthony Dixon for Elite, and over the next few weeks I'm going to be giving you tips and techniques on how to become a more effective hunter out west. I've been out here for 10 years pushing vert on these mountains out here in the Wasatch, and they're grueling. And some of the things I've learned over the years are very important, and some of them aren't so important. But be careful, the ones that aren't so important will add up and make you more effective out west. When you're spending your hard-earned dollars to come out here to kill an elk or a mule deer or an antelope, these are the things that I want you to be successful at when you come here. So one of the first things I'd like to go over with you is your foot placement. Out west, we don't have a lot of real estate. So what I'd like you to do is just take your feet and make them no wider than your hips. That's about all you can usually get out here, if that sometimes. So with that being said, we're going to turn, we're going to face our target. Most people face the target and shoot on the side of their bow. What I'm going to ask you to do now is to take your feet and I'm going to turn them to 2 o'clock. What this is going to do is it's going to make it a little bit more comfortable for you when you're at full draw, but it's also going to allow you to be behind the bow. So your head at full draw kind of comes over like this. That's going to line you up with your string, your sight, riser, arrow, everything. Very important. So as I turn to the 2 o'clock, I'd like you to then to take your weight distribution on your feet, and I want you to distribute the same amount of weight on each foot. This is very critical. You don't want to be leaning or pushing hips either one way or the other. So keep them straight. Your feet are no wider than your hips. And then from here down, you're going to lock this out, meaning it's not going to move. The next step, when you do have your arrow ready to go, you're going to take your bow and you're going to set it in your crotch area right here. And what this is going to do is allow this arm to get set into the riser correctly. Notice the string angle. I'm hunched over. Notice my arm. I'm coming over. You want to do this. It's easier to take this arm. I come in, I set it in the riser. The arm never moves. It stays very straight. The hand, once it's placed, I push down on this part of my hand right here. The knuckles are on a slight bit of an angle. So when I have that set and I'm going to start my draw process, this elbow stays high. So in the draw process, I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'm going to come up. I'm going to push and pull and keep the elbow high and come to full draw. I anchor in back here behind my jaw with my knuckle. My nose is the secondary anchor point, and this is very, very important. Out west, when you start shooting angles and you use 2 points of anchor, jaw, like this between the knuckles, or some guys choose to go this way. These are 2 very effective ways of having an anchor point. But the string is very key, guys. When you're on angles and you start to come to full draw, or in a tree stand, you come to full draw and you have your nose set on the string. When you come off like this and you go to shoot, you're coming off your anchor. So stay on it and either move the knees back away, or you can do both. And I can bend both knees away from my shot, and then I can anchor in and stay on the edge of one of my feet and the edge on the other of the foot. Now, this is really critical when you're shooting angles. Depending on where you're going, whether it's elk hunting and mule deer hunting, you've got to look at the lay of the land where you're going. If you don't have a lot of those photography that's laying like that, like big hills over 20 degrees and into 30, and very rarely are you into 40 degrees and 50 degrees. It seems steeper than it is. But remember, 2 points of anchor are very, very solid to have. Work on that. So back into the shot. Remember, we'll go over everything one more time. Feet are no wider than the hips. The feet turn to 2 o'clock. It opens you up a little bit. You come through. Let's make sure this is set at 20. You're going to come, the cam sits on the edge of the crotch. The bowstring is almost flat. I'm hunched over, arm is high, elbow is up. I set, I find that sweet spot on my hand. I come to full draw, I push and pull. I anchor in behind the ear, however you choose, and then get that nose on the string. You want to hook the release and pull through the shot. These fundamentals right here are going to help you downrange. If this isn't running right, nothing is going to run right downrange. I'm Anthony Dixon. That's your first tech tip of the week.